Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It is 11:30 and we had you. Let's start this team meeting up. Hi, Lisa Sorvig. Good to see you. Let's start this team meeting off with some bucket fills. Who has some gratitude that they'd like to share?
There's two people I want to thank.
Yes.
So this weekend, my husband and I looked at a house and we asked Trent for a lot of his opinions, and Brooke helped us to write a purchase agreement. So she walked us through the whole thing, and our offer was already accepted.
Yay! Fantastic. Now, will this be your residence or is this an investment? For you. Congratulations. That's fantastic. All right, who else? Tom M.
The whole crew for putting on an awesome awards thing.
Yes, that was so fun. Thank you, Tom. That was so good. Y'all are worth celebrating, so we're excited to be able to do that. All right, Kelly Menard.
Travis Anderson, because Brooke was sick and he put on an amazing productivity coaching class today. It was good. We did a whole bunch of stuff.
Nice. Thank you, Travis Anderson.
My pleasure.
Yeah, Brooke is
Kelly.
home with the flu. Well, her tribe has the flu, so she's home being mama right now. So thank you. I appreciate that. That's fantastic. All right, anybody else? One more? One more.
I'll say something. I want to
Sure.
thank, well, you and also Kelly for inviting me here to this awesome, fully packed team meeting.
We're excited to have you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
Well, we are thrilled that you all are here. Hi, Krista Foss. And we're so excited because we're going to talk about the market. Am I good, Jack? Okay. We're going to talk about the market. We're going to share some statistics, and then we're going to talk about how we can capitalize on the market and what opportunities are available. Okay. So you ready to go? Before we do, I just want to make sure that we have any K-Score people that we have online. We want to make sure that we welcome you. I don't know if I see anybody on there, but welcome. Anybody that's currently going through school, raise your hand. Sure, Chris.
Why not?
Maybe is.
Yes, Maggie is. Maggie's getting her license. She's gonna take over the world. Hi,
Hi,
what's your first name?
I'm Keegan.
Hi, Keegan. Nice to put
Hi,
a face to
nice
the
to meet you.
name. Welcome. We're excited to have you. Okay, how far along are you in the process?
I'm in course 2, but I'm taking the national and state test this Saturday.
Woo! There you go. All right. You're gonna do fantastic. You're gonna do great. Awesome. Keep us posted on that. Welcome. Super excited to have you. We are ecstatic to welcome the Sophia Rose, who is taking over the Rose team. Oh, I see her online. Sophia, unmute yourself. Oh boy. And then
Sorry, it's Dad with tech, you know.
All right, Sophia, welcome.
Hi.
We're so excited to have you.
I'm so happy to be here.
So tell everybody a little bit about your experience, and what excites you the most about running your mom and dad's team.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm excited to help them with the tech. Experience was really good. I will say I took a little longer than I should have because I don't know.
Yeah.
I just took my time with it, but I'm kind of glad I did because I feel like the timing about everything was perfect. And I'm really excited to be here because I really love this office and the community that's around it. And yeah, I'm really excited to start selling some houses.
So excited for you, and all the timing is always right. It always works out for the best. So congratulations, welcome aboard. We're thrilled to have you, and we can't wait to see you soar. She's so good. So good. She's already got some deals from her workplace. People are asking her all sorts of questions. Fun, so fun. Well, wonderful. So we have a guest with us today, a friend of mine. His name is Anton, and he is a rep for DR Horton. He and I met, oh man,
4.5 years ago.
yeah, about 4.5 years ago, like right in the heart of COVID.
Yeah.
We did like Zooms. We were Zoom buddies.
Yeah, yeah.
And then just most recently, we had another meeting, and he is now doing new construction, has some product that y'all might be interested in. So I asked if he would be willing to just bring materials, introduce himself, tell you just a short amount, but you can always ask him after this. If you have a buyer that has a need for new construction, there is some sticks and bricks that are already up, some spec homes. So Anton, tell us a little bit about you and the product that you have.
All right, Anton Martinez, obviously with DR Horton. I come from the existing real estate world, so I've been in your guys' shoes. Originally met Jen when I got licensed, and just continued that strong relationship over the years. Grew up in St. Paul, live in Egan. Noticed Brian his dad grew up in the same neighborhood I did. So inventory. So I'll just get started here. The pamphlet or flyers that you have in front of you. The first one is going to be the top 10 reasons to work with us with DR Horton. So the first thing is inventory. As Jen alluded to, we have the product for you guys. We have currently over 300 homes in the ground right now that are move-in ready for your clients to purchase. My home specifically. So the next page, you'll see all my listings that I have down in Prior Lake. Springview Meadows is my community. I have 6 homes that are move-in ready, all 2-story, all with the finished lower level family rooms, which is kind of unique for DR Horton. Typically, none of the lower levels are finished throughout our homes. If you guys are unfamiliar with the area, it's super close to both Spring Lake and Prior Lake. Within minutes of Mystic Lake Casino, all the golf courses, downtown Prior Lake, downtown Shakopee, all within a few minutes. So the next step, number 2, avoid bidding wars as the spring market warms up. If your clients come in and they put an offer in and it gets accepted, there's absolutely no worry about any multiple offer situations. We don't play that game at all. FHA VA buyers, we also work with them. We have awesome programs for those guys. So currently, if they were to go under contract with us today and used our lender, we have a 5.5 interest rate, 30-year fix for them. And that goes through the whole market, not market specific. So that's really awesome. The special interest rate's number 4 right below it. For all the conventional buyers, we were at 5.99 30-year fix. So I think yesterday, most of the market was a little bit over 7 or at 7. So that's an awesome way for them to get into the door at a well below market rate. Next item 5. 5 and 6, I'll kind of blend together. How we love to work with you guys in the real estate community is, we like some of the other builders out there, we won't ever work to cut you guys out of the deal. One of the other examples of that is our VIP program. So after your 3rd sale with us, all the remaining sales that you guys have for the remainder of that calendar year, you'll get 3% commission on all of those. No questions asked. And like when your clients come in, all they have to do is mention your name, and we'll honor that relationship, and we'll never ever cut you guys out of the deal. Number 7, the Home Buyers Club. The nice thing that the other nice thing that Home Buyers Club or the Home Buyers Club offers that DR Horton has, it started back in 2008, and what that does, it's like it's a free credit counseling service for your clients. Once they enroll into the program, they'll have somebody that walks them through to get their credit where it needs to be in order to purchase a home when their credit is up to, let me pause, I'll reset. So Home Buyers Club, if it is for less than perfect credit, we got that, they'll work for them. If it's somebody that just needs to boost their credit by a few points, it works for them as well. Since 2008, when it started, it has had 30,000 clients that went through and has closed on homes. since the inception of the program. Most people are in the program for about 3 months. So it'll usually bump them up in those 3 months by about 53 points, which qualifies them for a lot better incentives and a lot better rates. Closing costs, we typically always have up to $10,000 in closing costs that will contribute to your buyers. New construction training. So if you guys as an office wanted to coordinate and come out to my community, you guys could have that done, and you would go through the whole new construction process with our construction managers. So it kind of make you guys give you all the tools and information that you need to be well informed to go through the whole process with your clients. And it's not just for DR Horton, but it'd be just so you guys could have all the knowledge as you go through those different communities. And then number 10, online sales counselor. Actually, I found out yesterday that she actually was part of the team. And so if you guys want like the easy button as you guys are going out and looking at new construction, you can reach out to our OSC and she'll be able to immediately get you guys all the listings that you guys are looking for. So we would love to work with you. I would love to work with you guys. I'm not limited just to Springview Meadows. I can take your clients to any one of our neighborhoods throughout the community or throughout the metro. And I'll pass out, or I'll have at the end, I'll have some of my business cards to hand out if you guys want any information. I'm happy to work with you guys.
Thanks so much, Anton. Anton will be here, he'll hang out, and he'll be available if you have any questions about that product or any other product that DR has, and that you will get paid on. It's a wonderful thing. Jaden, come on down. Let's talk about what we can do to increase business through our tech tip of the month. Do you need anything? No, you're good.
No, let's do it.
Okay.
Oh, it's bigger up here. Good to see you all again. For those who don't know, my name is Jaden. I'm the Market Center Tech Trainer. Today, we're focusing on the open house people. Gotta go hard in the paint if you want to score, right? So we are at the KW agent site. Every one of you get a KW agent site when you sign up with us. Right now, we're using Kelly's, but most people will have their name.kw.com. So we're going to start with a possible open house. So let's say you have an open house this weekend. You put the address in here. So Kelly's going to make one up really quick. And when she chooses one, this is the page that you will see. Oops. So she finds the home that she's doing the open house at. And what we're going to do now at the top, you're going to hit /open house. When it loads, Command is going to create an open house sign-in sheet for you. So you can have this at the front door or somewhere within the open house. People there can come in, they can put their first name, their last name, their email address, and their phone number. Once they hit submit, they will automatically be added to your Command database without you having to go and put them in manually. And once Kelly checks both boxes and hits submit, the person can scan this QR code and get all the information about the home. That would be price, square footage, bedrooms, location, everything. Once done, they can hit back the sign-in sheet at the top. Yep. And then the next person can come through, put their name in, and then get automatically added to your command. Quick, easy, simple. Hope this helps.
So good. I could just listen to him all day, you know? So smart. Thank you, Jay.
QR code there.
Yep.
We're able to copy that QR code and use on other marketing stuff as well.
For that home. So
Right.
if you change the home, you want to change the QR code, but yes, you can use that for other endeavors.
Thank
Ooh, gotcha.
How many of y'all is that new news to you? Yay! See? Good stuff. Good items of value. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it so very much. Kelly, do you want to talk about this?
Just super quick. So, many of you guys, when you have transactions, you hear from Connie. And that's because she's trying to protect you from all of these various MLS violations that most of them will eventually result in a fine. And you'll see 74% of violations in Q4 were because we didn't change your status from pending to closed by the time you had your close date on that MLS. So when stuff closes, send either your Alta or the MLS change form to the front desk. We can close it for you and we won't be a statistic.
Awesome. Connie is always watching out for us.
Yes, she is.
She is always watching out for us because she cares and does not want you to be fined.
She's a protector.
She will fight. She will.
I
call the
would be
MLS.
curious,
Yes.
parking lot probably, but how many of those violations are within our brokerage?
All of them.
It's not, but
Tiny number, but
we usually are able to get those taken care of because Connie is a bulldog and we want to keep protecting you.
I will say,
It's very
I get copied and we get at least 2 a day.
Get you fined?
It's either a fine or a notification. Sometimes they'll give us a warning, like, hey, fix this in 24 hours or we will fine
Okay,
you.
okay.
But I get at least 2 a day.
People, for the love. Don't spend money when you don't have to spend money.
And some of them, you can't ignore them. If you ignore them, they'll charge you like $500 and then an additional $200 every day you continue to ignore them. Don't do it.
We just want to protect you people. And we know, I know, you've got 73,000 other things that you just need to do. So set an alarm, do the thing, set a thing in command, do something. But we just want to protect you from that. So thanks.
Does 2 sound like a lot?
yes.
Yeah.
No.
The number of transactions that you guys are doing right now, the percentage wise, pretty small. We'll
Very
go through
small.
those numbers in a little bit, but it might sound like a lot, but as a group, as a team, it's a small percentage.
All right. So that was a good tee up. Let's talk about that. Let's talk
Go
about
through
the
the
Let's
market.
go through the market update. Jared Krenz, thank you so much for sharing your information with us
Yeah.
and for pouring into us. Everybody get out your pens, papers, fingers for notes, because you're gonna want to hear this information.
Well, and right out of the gate, this next slide, I really want to touch base on. Our Jen Payne, her family last week, and tell us a little bit about your new granddaughter.
She's perfect. She's absolutely perfect. She is the best baby in the world. She has no flaws. Her name is Selah Ivy. So Selah means pause, reflect, or praise, and Ivy is a gift from God. And so that is why her name was chosen. Her older brother's name is Zion James, after my Jimmy. And they are phenomenal. They live in Burnsville, and she's the cutest thing in the entire world.
That is awesome.
There you go.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
So for the next half an hour, I want you guys to pause, reflect on these numbers, and then I'm gonna praise you guys on what you're doing, but I'm also gonna push you to go ahead and even do more. Because I want what's absolutely best for you and your family and your business, and hopefully these numbers will help on that. So let's go through this. All right, next slide, please. Now, this is from NAR. This is the information from NAR, and one Lisa Sorvig I saw posted some of this information the other day, but I want to share this with you. The median age for a home buyer and seller is 56 years old. First-time home buyers, 38. Repeat home buyers, 61. Your typical home seller is 63 years old. Now, as you're pondering these numbers, does anyone have any ahas with this or thoughts? Do they all seem older than what we thought these numbers would be on that realm? Here's a question that I have for you. You have a database. You work your database. If this is what our typical home seller is, 63 years old, does your marketing reflect that? Or does it look 28? Mirror and match your clientele on that. Maybe your database needs to go ahead and get a different generation in it to get more listings and all of that. Repeat home buyers, 61. That's just saying they're buying and they're selling. They're doing both. That's that average age. First time home buyers 38. We're gonna go ahead and jump in on that for a second. If we could go to the next slide, Kelly. All right, median age 38. They have 97,000 is what they make a year, the household. They're bringing in 9% down. And right now, only 24% of the market is a first-time home buyer on that whole realm, 24%. Now, historically, I'm going to show you a slide. In 81, it was 44%. In about 2003 and 4 and 5, it was 50%. But today, we're 24% on the first-time home buyers. They're coming in with 9% down. That's FHA is lower than that, an FHA loan. Why are they coming in with 9% down? They have 97,000 combined income at 38. I would hope so to purchase a house because that's what it takes. Now, one of the things, why do they need more down payment down for their first house? One of the things that's happening is, hey, they're 38, so they have a little bit more money. Previous years, they didn't need to have 9% down. They're also in competition. A lot of our first-time home buyers, they are going up against corporations that want to go ahead and purchase those homes and rent them out. They're also going up against local investors that are purchasing the homes with cash and other items like that. So they need to come in with more down. And that's why you're seeing that as well. 24%, lowest point ever, as far as with all the sales and stuff like that. So one of the reasons why I want you to look at your database and what's going on there, obviously we want to serve these people and help them as much as we absolutely can. 75% of the transactions, though, are going on with people that are over 55 years old. So we want to be involved with that as well, right? So which is kind of cool. This shows the first-time home buyers and the percentage of the transactions that are happening. 81, 44%, 50% right in here. Right in there is anywhere around 2003, 4, and 5. Does anyone know what's going on in 2003, 4, and 5?
Unethical lending.
Unethical lending. There was some challenges there, and there's some movies that go ahead and touch base on that. One of the things George Bush went ahead as president, he wanted home ownership to go up. And that was one of their criterias and what they wanted to do. So they opened up the banks and the lending and all of that to go ahead and get things rolling. And so that's why we had 50% more first-time home buyers, because money was more available. And also it was more of a push. Right now, do you kind of see like commercials and TV? Are they pushing renting right now? If you've watched, it's more than ever. Do you know why they're pushing renting? Because BlackRock and all these other large companies are buying up all of these properties, and they want you to rent from them. That is the goal. So as an industry, we need to fight for our people, our clients, and help them get into homes so they can go ahead and build up wealth. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal. And we're going up against big corporations to do it. So kudos for you guys for fighting that fight. This is interesting as well. So buyers are using agents 88% of the time. Now, builders, right now we're at 5% of the time on that front. With new construction, and previously owned 7. 88% of the time, buyers are asking for a professional to guide them and help them throughout the transaction. When we talk about sellers, I'm going to talk about being a professional and what that looks like as well. If we could jump to the next slide. But right now, we have Keller Home Loan. Pause. You guys want to come on up? I got a couple questions for you.
I need a fire hazard back here.
Oh, we got a fire hazard back there. All right, Tom. So with seeing this, and like on the first-time home buyer end, on that 24% of all the transactions, how can a borrower improve their chances to get a favorable loan?
Well, I'd say the first thing that they can do is get in to talk with us as soon as possible. So we can look at things like their credit, and their income to see if we can improve that. Improving credit is possible, and the difference between a 710 credit score and a 740 credit score can be thousands of dollars. So that's the first thing. We can head things off right away. As soon as they come in and meet with us, we can show them what to improve upon, and we can figure out if we're going to have problems down there with their income.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So that's a big step there.
Yep.
And then with it, is there like specific loan programs or incentives that a borrower should be looking at right now? I mean, we saw 9%, which I thought was actually high with all the programs that are out there. But what should a first-time home buyer or anyone be looking
Yeah, well,
at?
there's, especially with the first-time home buyers, there are the down payment assistance programs that are that are both through the state MHFA, and they're through different communities as well that you can get into. So you have to really, your loan officer has to know what's going on within each one of the communities that your buyers are searching in. So there are certain programs that offer down payment assistance, and those funds have expired in certain communities. And it's a research project every time for the loan officer, but it's well worth it to determine what's out there. It's basically free money. This first generation home buyer program, you've heard me talk about it a bunch of times. That is truly free money. It's the best thing out there. It's a major, there are a lot of steps that you have to go through to get it. And you have to get these people in right away and apply for that before they start making offers on houses. You can't do that on the back end. So it could be up to 60 days before they're approved for it, but it's free money. As far as the people that are buying that already have a home, non-first time home buyers, my recommendation is to make sure that people are aware of the options to buy before they sell. And those options could be a swing loan or a home equity loan on their primary residence that they can use as a down payment. The other option could be putting less down on the house that they buy and then recast that loan. So they're in a position that they would have been had they already sold their primary residence first. So the most important thing is getting people in early and making sure that they know what options are and make sure that their loan officer knows what programs are out there for them.
Absolutely. So having an advocate.
Yep.
Thank you for being our advocate.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Tom. Excellent. Kelly. Home sellers. Median age 63. They've lived in their property for over 10 years now. In 2005, that average age of a home seller was 47 years old. Do you guys remember that slide when I showed you that 50%? It showed like the percentage of first-time home buyers, and it was at 50%. That was right in that 2005 range where they were 47. What was going on there? They purchased their first home when they were in their late 20s, early 30s, and then they were doing a step-up buy. We're not seeing that anymore. Why is that? Well, at 47 right now, typically if you have kids, they have a car, you have insurance, you're paying for all of that. They might be going to college, and you're helping them with that, and you're sitting in a house today at about 3% interest rate. Now, are you going to step up to a new house that's $200,000, $300,000 more and pop that interest rate up to 7%? Why you have probably more expenses going on than you're used to? Probably not, unless you have different circumstances that arises. Now, one of the things you could look at this, what's going to make a 47-year-old, move, change? It's going to sound harsh, but I would talk to divorce attorneys and going ahead and reaching out to them and say that you provide a service for these individuals that you can help them move on from their home. It's almost like they're forced to sell their home. That could happen on that. So divorce attorneys are huge. Another thing with a 63-year-old seller, they're used to working with professionals. At 63, I have a financial advisor that helps me with my finances, stock market. I'm used to hiring a professional. At 63, I might have a doctor, a dentist, These are professionals that I go to and I rely on what they're telling me on that front. They've been through attorneys. And what I mean by that is at that age, they probably lost a family member where there was an estate or something like that, and they're used to looking at a professional for advice. At 63 as real estate agents, when we're reaching out to these people, don't be afraid of being the professional on that front, because that's what they're looking for. They look for it all throughout everything that they do. It's one of the reasons why we see real estate agents being used so much right now, percentage-wise. I'm going to show you this in a little bit on home sales, is because these individuals want professionals to go ahead and guide them through the process and get the best outcome on that front. If you want to jump in on that, 90% of all sellers in 2024 used an agent on that. The for sale by owners, 4%, all-time low. Why? This age group is looking for professionals to handle their transaction all the way through on that realm. Speaking of professionals, Randy, can you come up here with Title Fusion?
I'd never wear a wire. Here I am.
Here you are. All right. So what are the most common title issues that you're seeing right now when you go to closing that you guys are cleaning up and helping the client through?
I'd say as it relates to agents, because that's who I'm speaking to now.
Yeah.
Title issues on our end are always going to be there, not one more prominent than the other, but I would say client issues would probably the biggest to stand out for this year would be sell sides on your listings, getting to know who can sell the house. I've had a number of times where your seller's actually married, or you've got two sellers and they're actually going through a divorce and they're not sure where they're at in the process, and then they're not preempted that, you know, both of them are going to have to sign. I've had sellers who get to me on like a 30-day close and they're in the state, not actually an individual seller. They're a personal representative, and the person that signed the PA is not even the personal representative. So in trusts, I've got sellers that are in a trust that some didn't know they were in a trust, so I'll give you guys that, but some knew the whole time. So that's like a good piece of advice for the agents. And I say this a lot in the meetings, is getting to know your sellers. The more because by the time they get to us, we're going to send them an email. I'm going to call them. I'm going to tell them how the process breaks down, but that's pretty far into your process. So the more they know on their end, like you're going to get with a title company and he or she is going to ask you for a lot of stuff as a seller. And getting to know your seller means, are you married? Is this your legal name? A lot of attorneys, a lot of agents pull tax return or the tax certificates. That's a great idea, because that right there is going to tell you at least who's on the tax record. So you can match that to your seller. And a lot of times you'll see another name on there, and then you can ask your seller, who's this other person? And that will eliminate the question of, well, my agent never asked me, or I did mention that to them, but they forgot to tell you. So that's probably the biggest thing. Get to really know your seller and what makes them think they can sell that house.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, all right. So how do you, to have a stress-free, smooth closing, what does that look like? What does that experience look like?
That a stress-free closing is
Yeah.
1% of all of it.
Well, there we go.
So any title company can do a stress-free closing. I think where we shine is, you know, there's going to be stress, whether you have a slam dunk 10-day cash buy or, you know, a sell property with no title issues. One way or another, there's going to be stress. I think that's where a good title company shines. I think we all know that most of them have issues, and most of them have issues 48 hours before closing. Problem solving is the key to this business and title that I've come to. And making sure your sellers know and your buyers know that you're working for them and they're not alone in it, because they've been through a ton of stress. The buyers have got lenders asking them questions, us asking them questions. Sellers have got to tell the same thing over and over again. No, there's no wells at my property, and no, there's no unpaid tax liens. But when it comes to stress, which I believe is way off more than not, it's managing that with them, making sure that, you know, we're all on the same team.
Yeah.
And that it's never usually an if, it's always a when. So if you can get that hammered in and let them know that they're not alone in the struggle, and it's kind of 99% of my job is problem solving and getting creative and making sure we can get because at the end of the day, and I tell this to buyers and sellers, both sides want to either buy that house or sell that house. We all want to get in there. We all want to get it done on the closing date, and nobody's doing anything intentionally to get in that way. So anything we're doing is for you. So as long as they know that, that's the best.
Awesome. Well, this morning I happened to walk in your office and it seemed like you had two very happy individuals
Yeah.
that sold their home. So thank you for everything that you do. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
One of the things let's say when you have a property under contract or you have a buyer or seller, it doesn't matter if it's a buyer or seller, over communicate in that last week. Because they're moving, they got boxes, they can't find their documents because they're in a box in a storage facility or in a truck. Over communicate with them, ask them questions, and actually over communicate with the title company and the mortgage company as well, and the agent on the other side, to ensure that you do have that smooth closing. So Randy, thank you very much, sir. All right, our local market. All right, this right here, this is what's going on in the Twin Cities area in 2024. And Kelly's gonna move the slides a little bit for me during this process because I want to demonstrate what the market did compared to what you guys did on that front. So right out of the gate, new listings. In 2024, the whole market was up. That market was up 8%. Yay, right? Just so you know, for 2025, what are the experts predicting? They're predicting somewhere between a 5% and a 10% bump on the very high end. We saw 8% last year. So does that mean we're pretty much going to see close to the exact same market than we did in 2024? Pretty much. A little steady increase is what we're looking at. Now, what did you guys do at Select? You guys, for the year, were up 38%. On listings open. 38%. When you take listings, you control the market. You know what's going on in the market. When a buyer says, hey, let's say you take a listing and I'm just gonna say here in Apple Valley, and it's an $800,000 house. You're able to market that, you're able to bring buyers in, but you're also able to analyze what the market's doing at a very, very high level. And what I mean by that is you know how many showings went through the door. You know what the feedback is. You know what other $800,000 properties are going in Apple Valley for, and when they close. When you talk with buyers and then other people listing a home, you're able to share those experiences as well. So listings are key, and you guys are killing it in listings. 37.7% more than a year ago is a big deal. That's a lot. And that's the same amount of agents. The closed sales. Closed sales, the market as a whole was up 2% in 2024. Kelly, it's almost like we practiced. We were up 13.6% on closed sales. 1,134. Well done. That is a big deal. So we outperformed the market there. Our average sale price, now there's difference between average and median, but 380 on average, 452. We were actually a little bit lower than that. 429,717 for the year. So we saw an increase there year over year on that realm. We can stay here for a little bit while now, Kelly. The price per square foot around $211. What sellers received as far as this is original list price to sold price. On average in the 13 county community, we're at 98.7%. The whole MLS was actually even a little bit lower than that. You were higher than that. I'll share that here in a little bit. Monthly supply inventory. We are at 1.8 months of inventory. Could we slide? I have a slide to show what inventory is if it's like 4. So, oh, one more back. Oh, another one back. There, right there. There's 3 types of real estate markets. There's a buyer market, a balanced market, and a seller market. We're going to start at seller market. This is going to, 5 months is going to seem like a lot. Seller market is less than 5 months. Anything less than 5 months is a seller's market on that. A balanced market is from 5 to 7, and a buyer's market is over 7 months of inventory. You guys, we've been in a seller's market for a long
Eternity.
time.
We've been in it for eternity.
Eternity. Now, there's some factors that play into that. And I'm gonna go back to, remember when we saw first-time home buyers, the high was about 2005, 2004? That median age was 47 back in 2005, and then we had a crash. We had a crash in real estate. It was started in 2007, went to 8 and 9. During that crash, new construction was pretty much out, except for D.R. Horton. I'm sure they crushed it. It was very, very slow. What also happened is we lost a whole generation of workers, plumbers, electricians, framers, roofers, all of that. We lost them because what happened was it got really tight, money got tight, housing really slowed down. And if you were an experienced electrician, you had to cut your apprentice. And you had to go ahead and do jobs on your own. That apprentice found a different job doing something else. Hopefully they went and sold real estate and just absolutely killed it on that realm, but we lost a whole generation of workers. Right now, we are 4 million homes behind, as far as new construction homes, behind of where we need to be for 2025. It's holding us in a seller's market right now. Kind of interesting how things from 2024, 2025, and 2028 and 2029 still affect us to this day. But that's what's going on there. So our inventory is low because we don't have enough new construction starts to go ahead and get inventory high again. So, which is interesting, but yeah, that's legit. Next slide, please. This is what I think is CTC, contract to close. They send this out once a week. Well, hold it, every 11 days. Now that I look at it, but I think it's interesting. It gives us a pulse on what's going on in the market right now. And what they're seeing is 14% of the time when they see a transaction come in, they're waiving the inspection. 14% of the time. And they're probably in competition in order to do that. Why would you do that? This is what I like. Contingent on the sale of buyer's property, 29%, pretty much 30%. Does that open up your database for people that have homes to sell that feel like they had to go non-contingent for the last 4 years, 5 years? It absolutely does. Can that change the communication you're having with your database right now? When someone says, yeah, I'd like to buy a house, but I have a house to sell. No problem. Let's go ahead. Let's start staging your house. Let's get some painting done. Let's get it all set up. Here's your number. So when we do go ahead and find your house, we'll write a contingent offer, but you're able to go on the market within 48 hours. You do the legwork up front.
Got a big change in just a week.
See, there we go.
It's a huge change in the inspections.
Yep, and you'll see that go up and down when you watch it. If you go back, it's right back up to that number. Cash purchases, 21%. Geez, does that seem high? Well, if you're 63 years old, hopefully you have some cash in the bank that you're able to do that. A lot of times what they're doing too is they might have a house, they either sold it and they have the cash, or they're just taking an equity line out of it, buying their next house and then selling the other one on that. But that's cash. It's big. Warranties, only 7%. 7 out of 100 have a home warranty on it. Seller paid closing costs, 50%. Is that good information to know when you're writing offers for your buyers? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That makes you an advocate. Appraisal gap, 7% of the time, the buyers went ahead and said, hey, I'll cover the difference between the appraisal and the value of the home. Average days on the market, 66. Average purchase price to listing price, 98%. Multiple offers, 40%, 14%, 40%. That's 2017 there. The buyer broker compensation paid. I am not saying what you should charge or anything like that whatsoever. I'm just showing you the graphic. Seller / listing broker, 100% of the times on the transactions that they did, paid a buyer broker comp in some form or another. 14% of the time, it was between 2.2 and 2.5%. 86% of the time, it was 2.7 to 3% on that realm. Good information to have. Will this help with writing offers and other things that you do? Sweet. Next slide, please. And let's see how Keller Williams Select compares to what the market is doing. Our closed sales, we went through these numbers. I'm highlighting this. You will get this information in the slides after the team meeting so you can use it. We are outpacing the market 12% on closed sales. Listing 30%. Days on the market. Our average days on the market in 2024 were 34 days. The market average was 48 days. That's 14 days faster than the market. You know what a seller typically says when their house sells really, really fast?
Higher.
You should have priced it higher. That is exactly what they say. This contradicts all of that. In 2024, our average list price to sold price was 99.1. The market as a whole was 97.5. On a $380,000 house to a seller, that's $6,080 more dollars. So if you hire a Keller Williams Select agent, you're going to get more money in your pocket and you're going to sell it in 2 weeks less. Has anyone sold a house? With 2 weeks less of showing your house, getting it ready, cleaning your house to a certain level, is that a stress reliever? All day long. And I'm going to get you more money? Kudos to you guys. That is absolutely awesome. Well done. Next slide, please. 1 in 5 homes in Dakota County was sold by a Keller Williams Select agent. Well done, team. Next slide. We're doing pretty good on time here. This is another thing too, is this, there's certain metrics that Jen and I and Kelly talk about all the time. Like we need to hit certain metrics for us to keep moving up and moving forward and stuff like that. One is just dominating the area that you're in, that we're sitting in. Right now we're sitting in Dakota County. So this is units sold in 2024. You guys did 1,134. And this is the competition and what they did unit wise. So kudos to you guys. That is outperforming the market big time. This is our unit ranking in all of the MLS. So before we can dominate the whole entire MLS, we got to dominate the county, right? Now, unit wise, right now we are number 12 in the MLS. Now, this is broker metrics, but we also put in our multi-year trend report, so we have accurate numbers in there. So we're sitting at 12 right now. Do you guys see what it takes us to go ahead and get in the top 10? Getting there. Why is this important to you as an agent in our company, as partners?
Leverage when you're talking to people that you're going to represent. If you're doing more deals and you have more access to more deals that are happening, you have an opportunity for more off-market potential. So leveraging this is a huge benefit.
Yeah.
And it will get us in the top 10, which will be even better.
Which will even be better. Yeah. More exposure. Well, more exposure is a big deal. Companies pay a lot of money for more exposure. During our Facebook page, in team meetings when we share deals and what's going on, and I got a buyer, I have a seller who's looking to sell, but they're not really yet on the market yet, this or that. That's a big deal when we get to share that information. The bigger we get, the more agents that we get, the more opportunities for you and your clients, which is huge. Next slide, please.
I have 2 comments from our online people.
Yes.
So Trent says, by the way, if you add up all of the KW offices as one, KW is way out front.
Oh, as far as like
So these are all broken out. And then
Yes.
Robert says it should be noted that EXP is for every EXP in Minnesota.
Yep, in the state. See, I like this. Thank you, online team. You guys are very smart. The volume wise, we are number 11 and climbing. All of these metrics were rising up because of you guys. So very well done.
We do a shout out to our DR Horton friend here, because if you
Oh.
go back.
You know what? Let's give a shout out.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, DRs, and it's important to know because if we're only at 1.5 months supply, friends, most of your people are gonna end up at some point needing to build new or having a new construction option.
Yeah.
And so when you look at that, you have DR Horton showing up there. You don't have some of the other, we're not gonna name them, who aren't as agent friendly, we're not naming them, but we're not naming them, I didn't name them, but we all know who I'm talking about, right? They're not up there, so pay attention to our friend in DR Horton.
Absolutely. Great shout out.
Appreciate that.
Nice.
True though.
The profit share, we are a profit sharing company. When we grow, we get to go ahead and profit share more. Last year, we did $188,528 back to you guys to grow that, so which is a really, really big deal. A lot of that has to do with, I love when when I see agents and they bring in their friends and they talk and they go ahead and mastermind and stuff like that. It lifts people up. It brings their business up. It's very fun to see. So thank you for helping us grow on that. And it's funny, the people that help us grow, they actually even grow more. So it's so cool. It's a great tool that we have to put us all together. Next slide. Listings sold. All right. This is where I want to pause for a second. 574 listings sold. Does someone have a calculator? You all do, and it's on your phone, and most of you have the phone in your hand. So let's do some math. Take 1,134 and subtract 574 from that. What is it?
560.
560. 560. We, on the buy side, did 560 properties. On the list side, we did 574. This is an awesome problem to have. You want to go ahead. If your list side is bigger than your buy side, this is a rarity. Typically, it's the opposite on that. So this is a really good thing. And with that, there is an opportunity as well. And the opportunity is to go ahead. We're missing out on buyers. We're missing out on advertising. And one of the things now that, market times are in that 30, 40 days, you actually get to have an open house. You actually get sign calls. And you're going to get sign calls. The average buyer, like 50 some, 60 some years old, you're going to get sign calls. So if we could go to the next slide, it talks about open house. Now, Jaden opened us up today and showed us a tool on open house. Thank you very much, with our tech. And there's a way to have an open house. And in the shift book, page 70 to 71, it goes through the 7 levels on how to have an open house. Open houses with all the new regulations is going to be huge. You got to meet people where they're at on that realm. Read those pages, have open houses. Now, let's say you don't have any listings right now. Jared, I don't have any listings right now. My inventory is absolutely low. Awesome. Go on the MLS, search for listings that are listed with our company, KW Select. Find out who the listing agent is and say, I would like to have an open house at your property. Pick out one that looks cool to you and looks fun. And then say, I'm going to have a 7-level listing. Or maybe you won't even want to go further. Like, you know what? I want to do this, but I want to latch on to someone who has a lot of listings. Say, hey, I'll have open houses. I'll do it in this manner. If there is a listing opportunity that comes through the open house, let's do it 50-50. Let's share. Maybe they'll do it, maybe they won't. Or try to figure out a way to make it a win-win for both, so you have an active inventory of listings. Listing agents are going to absolutely love you if you're willing to have open houses and then somehow share in the opportunity of other listings down the road. You can have all the bodies, you got to negotiate with the listing agent, but there's opportunities there if you want to dig into it. But definitely check out the shift book, pages 70 to 71 on that. Yay, thank you, Kelly. GCI per unit for 2024. So this is on average, when you guys sold the property, this was your commission check, what it looked like. $12,586. Just think that's an incredible number, isn't it? I mean, I want to do that 4 times a month on that realm. That's what you're working for. You're working to go ahead and help a client, get them in the right property, serve them well, but this is the reward on that. So when you're right now, like in 2025, and you're thinking about goals and what you want to do and what that looks like. So for every unit that you do, that's the number on average. Speaking of goals. All right. Was that a lot of information? Too much information? No? Any ahas?
Jaden's open house login.
Yeah.
I use that and we link it to a command smart plan. And so you are in touch with them instant. So I don't know if anyone struggles to follow up after open houses. I'm sure I'm totally alone on that. But that is what Jaden taught us is gold. He taught us how to mine today.
That's awesome. Any other ahas? I have to dig deeper. Well, seeing none, let's move on. Right now, how many people in your database? So nothing to answer. You can write it down on a piece of paper, text it to yourself on the phone, but how many people right now in your database? The people with the largest database that communicates with that database in a systematic way are the people with the largest businesses, by far. Through coaching and talking to other professionals and businesses in the real estate world, when they have a large database and communicate with it, they do a lot of transactions. So it doesn't matter where your database is right now, grow it. Grow it and communicate with it. Another thing, like sometimes, we might only have 100 people in our database. And you're like, where am I going to get all these people? How many people are in your phone right now? If you have an iPhone, I'll share a trick with you. Go to your phone, push contacts, scroll all the way down, and it'll tell you how many contacts that you have in your phone.
Your Android will tell you if you just
If you're Android, I don't know what to tell you on that front. It'll tell you how many contacts you have in your phone. That is a database. I know when I started my business, I was recently married, and we took the wedding list, and that was our database on that front. Get a database, communicate with it. It could be in your phone. I want you guys.
For the Android people.
Oh, Android. What do we do for an Android?
You get your contacts and you have the 3 lines on your left. You just click those 3 lines and it'll tell you at the top how many contacts you have.
And mine told me when I hit contacts how many I had.
Really?
Look at our Androids being
Oh,
smart.
Android. You didn't even have to scroll down.
Like a smartphone.
Who knew? So So whatever your goal is, I want to give you.
Apple finally fixed that.
Oh, they did.
Yes. That's good.
So right now, I want you guys to launch your 2025 year. I'm going to give you a simple tool to do that. You have all these people in your phone. You can text them. And I want you to just text them this. Hi, Alex. Checking in to see if you have any real estate plans in 2025. Jared. Hi, John. I'm just checking in on you. Just wanted to know if you have any real estate plans in 2025. Now, let's say you have 600 people in your phone and you want to go ahead and do 24 transactions. 24 times 12,586 is a pretty big number. You text everyone in your phone that message. You're going to get transaction. You're going to have people reach out. Hey, we were just talking about it this spring. We would like to move on. Oh, the kids are moving. They're all out of college now. It's time to do this. Text everyone in your phone and ask them that. You are going to launch 2025 for you. You'll be ahead of it for sure. Anyone willing to actually do that? Yeah, absolutely. All right, when you do, could you please text me and let me know as far as some success? So my number is 651-253-3159. So like, hey, I sent out 10 of these so far. I set 2 appointments. Let me know on that. I would love it. Next slide, please.
Wait, 651?
253-3159. We have 3 minutes and I have 2 classes I want to go ahead and tell you about. First class, we have Travis and Eric. Travis, who just got done teaching a class an hour ago and everyone raved about it. He's going to be teaching a wealth class with Eric. And what they're going to be talking about is building your financial, it's a financial record. It's a financial statement. And they're going to go through and show you how to fill that out. How you would fill it out if you're going to go get a loan from a bank for an investment property. You're going to figure out your wealth. How much do you actually have in wealth on that? Why is that important right now? It's very, very important, especially since we're doing it in February, because what we're doing in March. So here we want you to sell property, we want you to invest it, and we want you to gain wealth so you can have a life worth living and a retirement and all of those things. You got to know where you're starting. And these guys are going to help us with that. And then on March 5th, who here knows Mark King? Mark King is absolutely phenomenal. He has built wealth. He has started from zero and he's built up to be a very wealthy individual. He was also the CEO president of Keller Williams and ran that for years. And you'll get the opportunity to meet him on the 5th. Just a great human on that. The class itself, it's set up for wealth building. We're going to go through as far as how to save you money on taxes so you can have some more money. Then we're going to talk about what investing looks like and how you can do it and achieve it. This is for Keller Williams Select agents and their family members. We're not going to open this up to other offices, this or that, unless they're invited guests. So there's a QR code here you want to register. One of the things I'm going to ask you to do, though, is I want you to bring a family member with you, a spouse, a significant other. Because when you go on a journey, an education journey, especially a wealth journey, you want to bring your partner with you. You don't want to have all this knowledge and the person you're sharing your life with not have it. Also with that, if you have kids in high school, kids in college, pull them out, have them go to this class. Maybe they're 40 years old, take the day off, go to this class. It'll be here in Eagan. Help them get a really good foundation of what wealth is. They don't teach it in school. Which is absolutely huge. You will also be able to, let's say you have a vendor that you work with and you want to give gratitude. Maybe it's a home stager, maybe it's a photographer, electrician, someone like that, and you want to give them something, have them come to this, build your team. Hence, you might get a referral or two out of it as well. Absolutely. That's a really good idea. I'm going to steal that. Thank you on that row. All right, you guys, that is it. It is 12:30. Thank you.